Hey, this is Dave from Punk Rock Pravda, and I'm at In Your Ear Records in Cambridge, Mass. with Mikey Erg. We're record shopping. We're going to go through some of the stuff here, have him talk about some of the music that he likes, some of the stuff that he's picking up just based on a cool album title, a cool artwork, cool name. So why don't you show us what you got?
Well, I just picked this up, Keith Jarrett. It's a jazz pianist. I don't have much of his stuff. I have one of his albums, and I like it a lot. And this appears to be a double LP concert in Germany that looks to be really long and pretty awesome. So, I'm gonna check that out. What else we got? This one of my favorite Todd Rundgren records. I've never owned it on vinyl. There's the interesting thing about this record that I really like is Todd Rundgren always liked to push the boundaries of what you could fit on a record. And this album, it's a single LP, but it's almost an hour long. And there's a technical note: due to the amount of music on this disc, over 1 hour, 2 points must be emphasized. Firstly, if your needle is worn or damaged, it will ruin this disc immediately. Secondly, if the sound does not seem loud enough on your system, try re-recording the music onto tape. By the way, thanks for buying this album. So it's kind of rad that he decided to just put an hour worth of music as opposed to just making it a double LP. He just put it on a single LP.
Do you like the stuff that he produces as well?
I do, yeah. I actually just I just listened to a BBC radio documentary on his productions. It's really awesome. Got me into a lot of cool stuff that he's done. And there's a cool book called The Wizard of True Star that's all about like him and his productions. This is a Naked Ray Gun Throb Throb. It's probably, I consider it the most important punk rock album of the 1980s. It's just perfect. It's a perfect punk record. So.
And we were just talking about the podcast Jughead's Basement.
Yeah.
They did a whole episode where they talked to Naked Ray Gun and some other guys, Jughead and Vapid from Screeching Weasel. So everyone listening should go check that out if they're a fan of Throb Throb or Naked Ray Gun in general.
Yeah.
And you were on his show too, right?
Yeah, I did the one about the Minutemen's Double Nickels on the Dime, which is absolutely an indispensable punk rock classic. This is a double LP, Melanie Live at Carnegie Hall. Brand New Key is one of my favorite songs by her. So this seems like a pretty cool record. Just a live show that I've never heard. So
who's Melanie for people who are unfamiliar?
She was a folk singer in the 70s, I believe. Yes, this was done in 73. Yeah, I don't really know much about her. I just know that she was a folk singer, and I really like Brand New Key. So I'm gonna check this out. This is one of the records I was hoping to find today. Me and Jeff from the Ergs, we had a long time thing where we were trying to collect every record that SST ever put out. No matter how bad or whatever.
Including the new Black Flag one?
Yes, which I still need to pick up actually. But this is one of the ones I never owned, and it's called Crazy Backwards Alphabet. It's like a noise group with John French, who was in Captain Beefheart's band. Henry Kaiser is just an avant-garde guitar player. And if you notice the artwork,
oh yeah,
Matt Groening did the cover art, and apparently he put this group together. Apparently he told all these people that they should start making all these crazy avant-garde noise, all this crazy avant-garde noise music. So and the Simpsons fan in me needs this record just for the cover art alone. So I'm really psyched.
So how far are you guys on completing the SST catalog?
I have a good. I think there's 368 records, and I definitely have over 200 of them. So getting there. I stopped for a while, but because there's a lot of stuff that is just unlistenable. But can never have too much Procol Harum. They're a great mid 60s into the 70s, and I think they're still even going. British group. Whiter Shade of Pale is their big hit.
So that's probably another artist that most people watching this aren't going to be familiar with.
Yeah.
So is this sort of like 60s, 70s in the vein of like the Beatles stuff at the time, or is it more out there than
It's
that?
more out there. The lyrics are really great. Procol Harum. Yeah, it's definitely weirder. Kind of almost prog rock at times too. But I only really know like the hits. So, and I have Shine On Brightly
On CD.
on CD, so I'm gonna get it on vinyl and hear how it's really meant to sound. And then the best of Procol Harum. This is a pretty cool compilation to have, so I'm gonna check that out. And there we go. Mike Oldfield, Tubular Bells, his first album is one of my favorite albums of all time, and I've never heard any of his other stuff, so I'm gonna check out. I believe this is his third album, Amadon. So I'm gonna listen to this and see how this sounds. Looks to be pretty cool. He's a great prog rock guy. I'm a sucker for really long songs, and this appears to be a 40-minute long song, so I'm gonna check that out.
So one side is just one song.
Yeah. Well, no, it's Amadon is just the one song, and it's
the whole
it's
thing.
split up into 2 parts.
Oh, right, yeah.
So-
It's 40 minutes.
So here we go. I'm gonna check that out.
That
I'm gonna
sounds cool.
take 40 minutes out of my day and check that out. This, another SST. This is an incredible record. Negative Land is not so much a band, but more of a like collective of like they do a lot of sound collages and kind of like just audio
Sort of noisy type
documents.
stuff.
Yeah, it's like not really even. I mean, there's music on their records, but it's less about music, more about just creating kind of audio movies almost. Like this is a cool record. They made an album called Escape from Noise, and apparently lost a lot of money doing it, and they were going to go on tour to support it, and ended up not being able to. Financially, the tour wouldn't be able to work. So instead of just canceling the tour for no reason, they made up a story that one of the songs on Escape from Noise prompted a kid to kill his parents, and and the news media ran with it. And so
is this an actual article? That was
yeah,
printed
this is an
about
actual
it? That's
article, and
excellent.
the whole first side of this record is called Helter Stupid, and it's all about, you know, they bring up Charles Manson, you know, the Beatles prompting him to kill people, and so this whole first side is like 20 minutes of just like an audio telling the story of how they got wrapped up in this, you know, situation where this kid killed his parents because of a song called Christianity is Stupid on their Escape from Noise record, and they really just made up the whole story just to get out of going on tour. So this is like them, this is the aftermath of them, and this is them telling the story about it. It's really good. It's one of my favorite records. This is a band called Mega City 4 from England that everybody tells me that they're incredible, and I've never really gotten to check them out. So this is a double live LP. So
What
figure-
sort of bands are they sort of in the vein of?
I know they're like a lot of my friends that like All and like the Descendants and stuff really like them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think they're just like good English pop punk, but I've never really even heard them. So, and I figure a double live LP is probably the best way to check
It's a
them
good
out.
introduction, yeah.
Because I like hearing bands live because that's how they really sound, you know. This band is called the Bush Tetras. They were like a no-wave band from the 70s and 80s. I've never heard this record, but it's produced by Topper Headon from The Clash, and it's on Stiff Records, so it has to be
gotta
good.
be
If
good.
it ain't stiff, it ain't
yeah.
worth the fuck. You know what I'm saying? And this, the piece de resistance. I own The Decline of Western Civilization Part 1 soundtrack,
Which
which
is
is the punk one. and this is the Metal Years, which I think is an even better movie somehow. It's just ridiculous. It just tells the story of the 80s, the LA 80s metal scene. And so this is the soundtrack to it, which has a bunch of live stuff and some studio stuff from all these, from Alice Cooper and
With Guns
Motorhead.
N' Roses too.
Yep. Oh yeah, wow. And Faster Pussycat, Armored Saint, Lizzie Borden. So this is gonna be awesome, I'm sure. The movie is indispensable.
Right.
It's almost like the first one is just a great document of all the great old punk bands, but the second one is just a ridiculous, awesome movie.
If you thought like Darby Crash was insane in the first one,
Yeah.
watch the guy from Wasp in the second
Yes,
one.
is he the one that's in the pool with his,
Yeah, with
his
his
mother?
mother.
That's one of the greatest scenes in film history.
Right, yeah.
Beautiful. He's just drinking a bottle of vodka in a pool and like taunting his mother. Like, it's amazing. So, I'm gonna have a good time listening to all these records.
Yeah. Did you want to go through more of the jazz and soul stuff?
Yeah, I feel like I haven't even scratched the surface.
There's a picture to prove it in case you don't remember. Because the moment is gone and it's no longer December. And there's a song in my head that makes me think I got you all.
Okay, so now we've gone through the jazz section,
Save this for last.
the psychedelic section, the soul section, and the rap section. And Mike has a few more albums he wants to
I
show
have a
off.
lot. Well, this Madonna's Like a Virgin is one of the absolute classics. Incredible record. I own it multiple times, but you can't have too many copies of this because it's incredible. Produced by Nile Rodgers. It's only $1.99. Can't skip that. This I was in. I haven't owned this record, but I was in England last year, and I was getting a stick and poke tattoo in a living room somewhere, and
Do you have it on?
it actually fell. The tattoo fell out. The tattoo did not
Okay.
last, but this was on the stereo, and I was just like, I forgot how much this Sade record ruled. So, I'm gonna pick it up. I'm gonna own it now.
Now, there's an interesting story
yes.
behind this group here.
This group, Slave. I don't know much about them. I've never heard them really, but for a year, my dad owned a recording studio for years and years, for my entire life, pretty much, and before I was born. And he had a gold record hanging up in the studio. It was by a group called Slave. And this isn't the album, but I think it was maybe the album right before this. But it was recorded at my dad's studio, and it went gold. So we had a gold record of it. So I'm gonna check Slave out. I wish it was the album that my dad did, but I'm just gonna check it out and see what they sound like. Interesting cover art.
Well, like I said, if you talk to Nardwar again, he will find
You'll
it
find
for
that
you.
first record. The first record is just called Slave. It's got like it's got a guy, an oiled up guy holding up a silver ball. And so if you see that, pick it up and tell me how it is. Tell me how my dad did production-wise. This record, Stevie Wonder's Secret Life of Plants, it's just like a crazy record. It's pretty much, I think it was right after what's the name? Songs in the Key of Life. And it's mostly instrumental and very weird, and pretty much killed his career. So that's reason enough to buy it. And this, I think I talked about it before, but this is a guy named Mose Allison who wrote. The Who covered a couple of his songs, and Elvis Costello's covered a bunch of his songs, and I've never actually heard him. So I'm gonna buy the best of Mose Allison and see
Does
where to
this
start.
have any of the ones that they
It
did?
doesn't, and I looked at the other ones and they didn't either.
Which ones did they cover?
The Who did a song called Young Man Blues.
Young Man Blues, right?
Which is an incredible song. Oh, actually, this does have Everybody's Crying Mercy. which Elvis Costello,
Costello.
covers on his Kojak Variety record, and I love that song so much. So it'll be cool to hear the actual version of it. This is great. I'm very psyched that I found this. It's gonna be cool. This Winchester Cathedral by New Vaudeville Band is one of the greatest singles of all time. I don't know anything about this band, but the Winchester Cathedral single is an incredible song. So I'm going to check out this album. I'm gonna find out what this is. Appears to be maybe their first record, so we'll see.
They have a nice promo photo here
Yep.
with a dummy.
Nice dummy. Yeah, this is gonna be good. This, the Bonzo Dog Band. I believe Neil Innes, who was the genius behind the Ruddles. He wrote all the Ruddles songs, which is a Beatles spoof that the Monty Python
SNL
guys
and,
did.
Monty Python made.
And I think Neil Innes did a lot of the music for Monty Python and stuff too. This is an album, this song called Tent. There's an old, which is touted as the first ever reality television show, a thing called An American Family,
Yes.
aired on
yes.
PBS in the 70s, I believe. There's a part where the older son starts a band and does a talent show at his school, and he covers Tent, and it blew me away. It's one of my favorite songs, and I've never actually owned the original version of it, so here we go. I can't wait to check this out. Just Neil Innes alone, and then this song that I think is incredible, that I'm very excited to hear the actual original version of. So the Bonzo Dog Band is going to be great.
All right, awesome.
And
One more.
save the best for last. Isaac Hayes is just a soul legend, and I've never heard this record, but I was roommates with an WFMU DJ once in Jersey City, and he showed me this record. This is I guess the first pressing of this that folds out into a life-size Isaac Hayes. It's pretty fucking incredible. So, gotta own this. I'll buy it once I can figure out how to fold it back up. We'll see. But I'm sure this album's gonna be incredible because it's Isaac Hayes and he can do no wrong.
Except Scientology.
Except some. That's true, yes.
All right.
Well, now we have to buy those.